Okay, so today there's something I want to talk about that I find quite interesting. And so, you know, uh, yesterday when I was talking about my daughter made those TikToks, which I did get to share a couple of them because she's made several now. People want to see stuff about me. They're just like, oh, give me more of her. I'll give my thoughts about this. So, anyways, like blew up. I was like a million views in the first whatever. It's over 3 million now, and so many likes and comments and stuff. And it's just so funny because just the day before, I was just thinking, I wish I would have had her do more footage when she was here, of like when we were at the lake and stuff, because I wanted to do this whole thing after I'd seen Paulina promoting, getting older and taking care of yourself and stuff. I was like, I want to do the same thing. And then plus the added thing of just be you, don't let others define you. Don't, don't conform. Don't be what others want you to be, especially to the point where you're unhappy and unfulfilled. It is so much about becoming your best, your truest self. And I think, to me, that is what people seem to be drawn to by what they're saying and stuff. There's a whole bunch of different things, like there's a whole like little movement, like don't be a Karen, be a Kelly kind of thing, which I think is really cool because it's not me. I mean, they're not even really talking about me. They have taken my avatar and they have designed a whole thing around it. It's crazy because it's weird. Um, so, anyways, because when you're reading the comments, like this is a 20-second video or something, right? And people have defined me. They defined me in that 20 seconds. But we define by what's in here. We don't have to know that person. That's what we're beginning to understand about ourselves. We don't have to know that person. We make assumptions. We just look at them and we think we understand them by the outside. And it's gotten us in a lot of trouble. So, this is a movement to move us towards, getting a lot more of our inside to show through to the outside, and to develop our inside to become, inside what we want. And to remember, like, you could take like this most beautiful girl, and some girl who doesn't think she's so pretty can watch this girl and just think, oh man, she's got the life, she's got all the guys, she's doing this, she's traveling, she just gets everything she wants. And to that girl, it can seem like, you know, uh, just because I'm not pretty, I'm not getting the same life or whatever, right? And that girl works a lot more on developing herself. The other girl is, just living this life. She's not really developing her character. Therefore, when she ages and there's nothing inside, and those, the guys that are paying attention to that shallow kind of way, anyways, they just move on to the next younger one right away. As soon as you get cooled off, you're hot for a minute, then they're all about you. But then when you cool off, if there's nothing there, if you have no substance, what is it that keeps people drawn towards you? So it is a lot better for somebody to work on themselves than to just feed off of the feeding frenzy of what you look like. Because you just will get used. You won't, and then you end up being tossed away, and then it's like, who am I? I've let everybody define me for so long. Who am I? And, it's a restructuring of yourself. It's going to happen to lots of people. But, it's very important for somebody to develop their character. And somebody who doesn't think that they are beautiful on the outside, who's so beautiful on the inside, doesn't even recognize, if they're so stuck on the outside, what a beautiful person they are on the inside. And how much more valuable that is, because looks fade. Looks are temporary. Everybody has a hot moment in life, So you've got to just, for one thing, if your hot moment was when you were young, then why did you let it go? You could have, continued to take care of yourself. I just think there's so many people that they just think, at a certain age, it's all done, it's over. And that is what I think about this movement, is redefining what is 60, what is aging, what is being an older woman, especially an older woman that doesn't have a period. I mean, they've discounted us for so long. I just became one of the us, but I have watched it. I've seen it. I see how it works. And and it is true what Paulina said. You develop so much more as you age, but people give you less value in this current social environment that we've got, our current culture. But this current culture is falling apart. It can't continue, so it's going to move us into a new direction, of course. So but it's us being able to go in. I mean, we're science projects. We should be able to have a look. We should be able to have a look at the details of our existence as well, and be able to define what we want. So we should be able to look and say, hey, that's not working. Oh, no, that's not working. And this isn't just for them, this is for us too. So when we see what's not working, and each of us, because it is, you become the change. So you recognize that, oh, I'm not going to be that way. And maybe everybody around you still is, but you are changing the current. You stay on course, and you change the current. The energy pulls with you, especially at this time when the energy is redefining and rebalancing itself. And, because it's funny with a Karen and a Kelly now, what a Kelly is, the wild, carefree one. But people even went further than that. But anyways, the balance back. But see, as a social construct, as us, as as the people, then, it did go off. There wasn't one Karen. There was a whole bunch. It was like something inside of people that was coming out. They had to see that for themselves, Some of them had to see it very publicly and be really like, like there were some humiliating moments for some people with the Karen situations, because everybody's got a quick phone pull out, everybody's on guard. I'm going viral. Come on, Karen. There was like so many of these Karen videos that went viral, even to the point like they made this movement, like I not raised by a Karen, and then whoever your parent is. But then I just think that it is shifting us, because we all want to find that freedom in ourselves. And when we see somebody else who's living free, that seems to be a free spirit, not be defined by others' beliefs, by cultural demands and stuff like that, to just decide and define yourself, then it makes people, it's not like envy or jealous, but it's like, kind of like, why am I restricting myself? Why do I hold back? Why can't I go out and find this part of myself? Because we all have it inside of us. We all have a bird that wants to fly free, and they've kept us caged. They keep us trapped. They keep us defined. So the thing is when the people were going in and watching this video, it's just so funny, like my daughter leaving here and just having so much anger and stuff towards me, and I don't know, kind of seeing me as her problem in life, kind of. I don't know really, because how can I know? I'm not inside of her. I don't know. This is my my perception of the experience, which every single person's perception is valid, and that's the perception you need to focus on, because that's the one that's teaching you. And any situation that you're in, you can get all caught up in somebody else's perspective. Yeah, it has value. You can see like, oh, that's what you saw me to be like? Oh, okay, interesting. That doesn't mean you have to completely change yourself into being what this person needs, because then you just left an empty pocket of yourself. You just changed for somebody else. You don't change something about you unless you feel like it's something, because everybody's going to get a different perspective, a different perception of you. You're a different person for every single person you come in contact with. So if you're trying to make everybody happy, where are you? Who are you? You know, you've lost you in the mix of trying to make everybody happy. You've lost your own character. So it is so important to not just be like, oh, you want me to be this way? You want me to be quieter? Oh, you want me to be louder? Oh, you want me to be more talkative? Oh, you want me to be more, you know? It's like everybody wants you to be a little bit more or something. So that's why we got to shift out of this. Like, why do I need you to be more of anything? You go be you. Why do anybody need me to be different than I am? We need some of everybody, you know? We don't need everybody to be, hair just flew in my mouth. We don't need just everybody to conform and I'll be the same. Ugh, from my tongue. I'm telling you, Stella is like a fucking porcupine. It's just hair just flying out all the time. There's so much hair. And I don't know. I mean, I get kind of, you know, I'll go back to what I was talking about, but I just want to throw this out there real quick, is that I've talked to a few people, and there's a few people who have elderly dogs that have chronic symptoms who are having a big influx in their symptoms too. And I really 100% believe it's the toxins. You know, I mean, they're filling us full of poison, and, you know, there's only so much that your body can take. You know, everybody's body's fighting a lot. So, and it sucks because, you know, you get hungry and you start thinking about like, oh my gosh, so wheat's bad for you. Oats are bad for you. Too much fruit is bad for you. It's just like you start going through all the things that we eat that are bad for you that fuck with your system. And so then it's like, oh my gosh, you know, it's a fine line to figure out how to be healthy in this world. But we're going to be moving out of this, you know, once you know what they're filling you with, then it's really hard to want to consume anything that they're giving you, you know. And so, but we're going to, you know, that is falling apart. So that is not going to continue as a part of our, you know, advanced society. So anyways, one of the things is that when these people were looking at me, a lot of people were just like, oh, that's the mom I want to be. Oh, I want tattoos. Oh, look, tattoos can look good even when you're old and all this stuff. You know, there's a lot of that kind of stuff. And then there was some, you know, who were defining me. Oh, that's the mom off of blah, blah, blah. That's the mom off blah, blah, blah. And so yesterday, there was a whole bunch of this mom off of Maid, this show on Netflix. And there's a bunch of people saying, oh, that's the mom off Maid. She's got the Maid mom vibes and all this stuff. And so my daughter's like, you got to go in and see. There's several moms. And she was like, you got to go in and check these out. One is off of Frankie and Grace. Grace and Frankie. Can't remember, it's the Lily Tomlin character, which, yeah, even when I was watching her, I was like, that's the kind of old lady I'd be. So, yeah, I can totally relate to her. But the one from Maid, so I went in and watched, and I don't even think I finished the first episode. But the first interaction or encounter with this woman, I was like, oh, yeah, I could see, you know, her mom, her hair is my mom's hair. I was like, so I'm just seeing my mom. I'm having a real hard time seeing past that. And then, you know, she's, you know, loud and distracted and laughing and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, well, yeah, I can relate to her. You know, she's out painting. And I was like, yeah, I can relate to her. Just that, you know, carefree, free spirit kind of person. But why are some of the people saying like they feel sorry for my daughter? Like, oh my God, that's horrible, you guys. You gotta, you know, I mean, that's really tragic. Her mom is like, she couldn't even watch The Maid. It was too triggering. Well, she had told me she couldn't watch it because it was so triggering, because she related to the younger girl who was going and trying to start over after divorce and not having skills and stuff like that. And, you know, having to go clean and just feeling so, you know, And she turned it off after that. I don't even know if she got as far as I did into it. But so the next encounter with the mom, after this daughter is going through this hard day trying to, figure her shit out. It probably tells more about it as the story goes. But then when she comes and encounters the mom's like this psychopath, bipolar, screaming, and, she's living with some rando guy. And I was like, oh, this is not me. This is not me at all. And I was like, it's so weird that people, they just can see something for 20 seconds and they get a whole vision of who you are. And the tattoos definitely, define it. I don't know. In the videos, I'm kind of like, being silly. I don't know. I'm just a silly person. And, so I don't know, that can come across, I guess, as a drug addict or a drunk or something, some of us are high on life. So we don't need to be going out and taking a bunch of drugs and being drunk all the time to get to that, fun side of ourselves. So, but a lot of people do. So when they see that, they will naturally think like, oh gosh, she must be really drunk. Who does that? Nobody does that. And so it was strange to see. And so that's where I kind of had to detach like my character. It's like, this is a character that they've created in their own mind, just by a 20-second clip of me that has, the good thing, I mean, everything's got positives and negatives, but the good thing is that how many people it was giving this other kind of perception, a redefinition, exactly of what I wanted when I was saying I wanted to get some footage of me in a swimming suit and stuff and start showing people being in shape too, but it's not the main thing because I'm not like, get to the gym. It's all about tuning into your body and being healthy and redefining yourself to me and not being, there's so much conformity and it's about breaking free from that for me and defining who you are. I mean, you definitely don't see a lot of, 60-year-old women with their hair flying like a flag down to their ass and, going and shopping in the junior section. I mean, I guess I am kind of a unicorn in a world, but I know that there's other unicorns out there. I know there's more of me out there. I'm not the only one. And I know that we all together are making a change and saying, hey, you're not defining me. Just because I'll have a period, all of a sudden I have value to you, then that's shallow. That's something wrong with you, not something wrong with me. I'm sorry. I don't have time for you, So that is where we're redefining. We're taking back that divine feminine power, that goddess. I'm important. I matter. If I don't matter to you, then what is that the queen would say? Like take them away. But we got to get into that kind of mindset, and we have been so defined by these cultural demands, this patriarchy, full of perverts and stuff. So. Anyways, it was really just making it stand out to me so much about how people define the character by their own self, by their own way that they see things, especially when you go in and I think the last time I saw it was like almost 6,000 comments. And she made some more videos now too. Everybody's like, oh, I'll see more of her Kelly. Oh, more Kelly. Well, and asking her questions like she's having to go in and answer. And, it's like getting in touch with your mom. Like, you've got all this anger at your mom, but then the universe supports this movement into, well, let's look at your mom a little closer. Let's see, what do other people think of your mom? Let's look at this closer. And I just think that is just so cool. It's so fascinating. And, my guides have been telling me that this was going to happen for a while. That's one of the things I haven't talked about, but they've been telling me. And that there would be some kind of a public view of me that was going to redefine me to people around me, because the people around me see me so different than who I am. And, it's their blockages why they can't see me for who I am. And it's fascinating too, is these people who are like, they look at me and they think, oh man, she's some biker, drug addict, crazy lady. Oh, that poor girl raised by her or something. The people who come from that kind of, way of thinking. And it's just so funny because my kids were raised in, for the better part of their life, a 2-parent household, mom clipping coupons and, family dinners every night, and very structured kind of life. I was very structured back then, and I didn't have a million tattoos. I had my one big tattoo on my back, but I hadn't got the rest. I was much more of after my brain injury. And it was just like this redefining myself of like, fuck, society doesn't give a shit about me. So I'm just going to be me. I don't give a fuck. And, the more you become you, the more people are intrigued and drawn, because everybody's trying to fit into society. And it's a blessing when society says, we don't want you anymore. If you can define yourself. I mean, they're doing that to a lot of people right now. And a lot of people are struggling with that. But there's a lot of people like me who are coming out and saying, hey, it's not a struggle. It's just a redefining yourself. It's figuring out who you are and be your best self. Be your true self. And, it is like the flower that blossoms, in the garden. You got all the flowers trying to look exactly the same as the others. And then you got this one wild one. And it's like, oh, look at how pretty that is. It's so different. Everybody wants to, but you have to go in and you have to be vulnerable. You have to put yourself out there. You have to be, ridiculed by some. You have to be put down by others. You have to not be seen by everybody. You have to be able to accept that and know who you are, even when other people don't see who you are. So, when they're saying that kind of stuff, it was just weird because I was thinking, the universe works in mysterious ways, when they may very much find out what I am all about. Maybe there's going to be more to me to come for them. We'll see how this plays out. But it's just funny because people make these assumptions. But, here I am sitting here trying to tell people how to have a healthy lifestyle, how to be your true self, how to take care of yourself, how to connect to the spiritual side of yourself in the supernatural world that's all around us, and how to be a part of it. And, and about healing, and to take, to better care of ourselves. But taking better care of ourselves is also taking care of the world. Because just things like, I thought of this perfect example. When I was taking care of yourself, if I could think of it again real quick. Because it was a whole thing that I had thought of the other day. And then I had forgotten. I might have said it. Who knows? I have no idea what even these videos that my daughters have pulled out, it's like, I don't remember them at all. It's like they could be showing a different person. I don't remember them at all. I just go through my life. You just can't remember stuff. Day by day, you just let it go. You gotta let it go. But I'm telling you, it really helps you to be a lot more pure in the moment, to think about, what am I leaving here right now? What am I doing here right now? What am I putting out here right now? Because I'm not going to remember. So I better make sure it's my best self, But also, I'm true to my own self. Like if I'm upset, I'm not going to pretend like I'm not upset. If I'm irritated, you're going to know it. I don't try and pretend like I'm something I'm not. And that is one thing, too, that I just think is so important. And, there's just so many people who, speaking of drinking, just for saying that, there's so many people, I would not drink. I'll never have a drink. And to me, I'm way more of like, I'm going to be in the moment. If I feel like having a drink, I'll have a drink. It's not like a big desire, like where can I go to get a drink? Where can I go around these places? It's not like that, but it is like, I don't want to put an expectation of lag or limitation on my experience. I came here to experience. I came here to experience everything that is here. So I just, I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot of people who are like, well, I'm not going to do that. That makes me a bad person. I'm not spiritual if I do this. I'm not this if I do that. How can I be this if I'm that? And it's like, well, you're whatever you want to be. You choose your facets. You choose how you represent yourself. So, and just in my way of being at this point in my life is to be a lot more pure in the moment and to do what feels right in those moments, to be true to the moment. So, anyways, that was just another thing. But there was still another thing, too, that it was about, I can't remember. But it is, when there is people who are defining you, like, because we all do it. We see somebody and we just make assumptions. We think we know them because of, the clothes they choose, or, car they drive, or the job they have, or whatever. We think that we know them better than we do. We think that we understand them. And I think that all of the things happening in this world right now is to give us a different view of that, so that we can understand that, everybody is more multi-layered. Like, I mean, you can go out in the freaking, go talk to tons of homeless, go down on Skid Row, talk to tons of homeless people. You'll find smart people, college educated people. You'll find a wide variety. It's not just a bunch of drug addicts and prostitutes and crazy people. There's people who are, just, it's an assortment of people that become different things, we group people together. We love, not we, this world. I think that we are starting to understand that labels are too confining. They confine us. You call somebody a label and it has already a definition. Well, what if you don't meet that definition? But everybody's already defined you by that definition. So you already have, the labels come with a whole assortment of identity that we don't necessarily need. So it definitely doesn't define us. So, how do we stop that? It's up to us. It's up to us. We see somebody, we think we know them, maybe get to know them and see, was I right? Or is this person like what I assumed they were like? And, and always be willing to talk to people that you don't see as your people, because that's where we need a lot more crossover. We need a lot more information. People have gotten so much pigeonholed into with, we all think the same and you're different. So therefore you're out and we're in. And this minority, majority kind of, it's just the way that it has been here, with the bullying and the warring and the division and stuff like that. So it's just part of all of that whole thing. But, it's one thing to be with like-minded people, like with your tribe, because it is a lot less energetically challenging. Because then, you're talking to people and they just get it, people understand you on a level that is deeper to their core. So, being around people in your tribe is one thing, and when we get to that point of being around people that are more of in alignment to us vibrationally, then we will also be in a place where we are not going to create division, that we will want to share. And I think we're going to get a lot more comfortable with that learner-teacher concept, that we will make ourselves available to learn and understand about other people, and then also to get comfortable enough in our own self, in our own skin, that we can put out, our insights, our information, because we all have it, just not everybody is ready or willing to put it out there yet. Especially, at this point in time when, people haven't even understood that there's a supernatural world happening around you, and that's the real world. So, yeah, a lot of people, they think, everything that comes into their head is their thoughts. They're just making up thoughts. They're just creating thoughts. So, it's like a whole new world is coming forth. It's sprouting around us. It's like the garden has got like all this new growth coming in, and it's new plants. It's different. And it's going to change everything. And it's going to take over the garden. The other stuff in the garden is decaying and dying. It's old paradigms, it's old structures, it's old things that we don't need anymore. We figured those out. We defined ourselves. We figured it out. We learned those lessons. That cycle has ended. Now we're moving into a new cycle, a new age. In the new age, we're defining it. So how are we going to define it? Are we going to stay hidden? Are we going to stay passive, compliant? Or are we going to, be ready to come out of our cocoon, healed and ready to fly and be free and show ourselves, show the beauty on our wings and be our own beautiful selves and, fly at our own path, I don't know how butterflies fly, but you know what I mean? Our own way of being. So I just think it's really cool for these, because you could totally see too, a lot of the younger people, they're very accepting of tattoos and stuff. And they're much more like, oh, I want a bunch of tattoos. I want to look like that when I'm old. I want to be her when I grow up and stuff like that. And, and it's not like, oh, well, you have to have tattoos to be a free spirit or anything. A free spirit is whoever you are, to feel free from the burdens of pleasing others. That's where you free yourself. That's the free spirit, is you stop trying to please everybody else. You free yourself. You free your spirit. And you just let it shine. Let it be who it wants to be. And, don't judge it. But also, every time I say that, there's certain things that pop into my head where there's certain ways of being that some people want it to be accepted that's unacceptable. And there's definitely unacceptable ways of being. And it is, it's like a consumption of someone else's energy in a way, when you hurt people or manipulate, or, especially children and stuff, a lot of murder and that kind of drama, and a lot of the drama that goes on between people is all like a lot of past life stuff, a lot of, stuff that people carry from life to life, and they don't really realize it. So a lot of that stuff is, I think a lot of that's going to be worked out when people have to do their healing and they start realizing like, oh, I'm born over and over. This isn't my one-time shot. You mean I've got some problems I haven't solved? So maybe if I, start trying to understand, like, what's my body telling me? What is my life path showing me? Got some stuff to clean up here so I can move forward into this new world. Because, yeah, the age of Aquarius isn't going to be about a bunch of, people who are angry and, murdering each other and, stealing each other's stuff when somebody's not looking. That's the kind of energy that won't be moving forward with us. If you still are in that place, like, I need to hurt others and take from others, and I don't think anyone's watching, so whatever I can get away with is good for me, then that is somebody who is not ready to ascend. They need to stay back and develop themselves and go through some more harsh lives in hell. You gotta remain in hell. You gotta stay down here and, work through some shit. So when you go and you focus on yourself and your spirit, that's what everything is all about. Is this? It's a spiritual journey. Everything in life, if you're alive, if you're living, is a spiritual journey. It's about development of your own self, and, your conscious being, your eternal conscious being that you are, that is creating this life for yourself. And in the more that you learn to love yourself, the more you will see what manifestation is all about. It will define itself to you. You don't have to go in and try and figure it out. It will show you. You will see. Oh, so when I felt bad about myself, all of this stuff was coming. But now when I feel good about myself, it's a completely different thing that's coming towards me. So that is in you. And because everything is individual, and we do, it's all about, we are our change, and we have to trust each other and trust our connection to know that as a collective, as an energy that is here, as a group, that our energy is bonded to one another. Like we are it's a 100 monkey thing. You don't need us all to understand it, because energetically we pass it through each other. So the more of us that continue to create these changes and these waves in the direction that we want to go, the more it reverberates throughout the general public. So, and that is what they keep talking about too, like with the Great Awakening and how important it is for the 80% and all that stuff. Because when the shift happens in the 80%, then it's going to be, if 80% of the people already understand some of the stuff and are paying more attention, and a lot of these other people who are waking up to little things, they haven't seen it all yet, but they're waking up little by little, then it's going to be a lot more easier to get everybody in that kind of idea, that kind of motion that we're trying to lead to in this great awakening, because we don't want to have any more chaos. And there could be a lot more chaos coming. I mean, I don't know. I mean, even I've heard lots of psychics, try and say, and nobody can get it right. I mean, even the astrology people, trying to read the stars. When the whole thing is about translation, and it's about understanding, and you understand things so much better after they happen. I do have high hopes for tomorrow, though. I just think, oh my God, that would be so, so exciting if the Great Awakening happened because of something good happening for us, instead of, another bad thing. I mean, we've been in such a succession of bad things, one after another, after another, after another. And, people are beat down, but oh my gosh, what a great shift if all of a sudden, you find out, hey, you don't know anything anymore. You don't have to worry about going to a job that you hate. You can figure out who you want to be. What do you really want to do with your life? What is your special gift that's inside of you that you've got hidden? Your talent that you have, protected inside of you. And, I'm excited. I'm really excited to see how this is going to play out. It sucks going through like, all this weather manipulation and all of the stuff. Yeah, it sucks, but I know it's temporary and we're going to get through it. And it's going to be really, really worth it when we actually start moving into that new age. I mean, we're moving into it because everything is falling apart, but you can't take that stuff with you. So it's quite a release, but we will get there, and there will be something dramatic that's going to, give us a little nudge in the right direction. So, and if you're already swimming in that direction, then it's not going to affect you in the same way that it's going to affect some of the other people who are, just beginning to wake up. It's going to be like a smack jab, like a pow, pow to the old, can't think of the word. I'm seeing it like a Superman, like in a comic book. That's what it's going to feel like to a lot of people. Like it's this big, like a Smackdown or something. It's going to be very unsettling, in a real time to redefine yourself and to really see the world in a whole new way. So, but everything is out there. But I'm also, when you do start trying to love yourself, and you feel like, hey, I'm ready to unveil myself. I've done my work. I feel good. I feel like I get it. I understand. I feel connected. I feel like I'm tuned in, then, get to that point to just go out and start sharing your knowledge, because it takes a lot to get there, a lot of growth, and everybody needs to, um, the more people that speak out about how they got through certain things, the more it helps more people. Because there's a lot of people who are just really, really stuck. I mean, it's really, nuts that, a grandma with tattoos dancing in her living room can make people, question, who and what they are and who and what they want to be. To me, all I can see is just we're coming out of a place of people just trying to be what others want them to be and not developing themselves, not even getting the opportunity to develop themselves. So many people came from really hard families. And one of the pictures, I have a black eye. And I guess a lot of people are asking about the black eye. I've had 3 black eyes in my life. And this one, though, was my dad was, he was always drunk. And I don't remember what it was, why I was trying to get away from him. Could have been anything. Anything. But I was trying to get away from him. And I was going out to my car, and he was following me. And I turned to say something, like, just get away from me. I don't know. I was like 17. I think this was my 18th birthday party where these pictures are, and I've got this black eye. But I turned real quick to get into the car and just slammed my face right into the side of the car. But it looks like, I don't know. People just see a black eye and they think like, I have been punched in the face. I've been hit in the chair. I've been hit in the face with a chair. Got a black eye and a broken nose from that. Got hit my own face into a car. Got a black eye, and then got punched in the face for, telling a girl that she needed to lose weight. It wasn't like this girl was in this bar just totally just attacking me, calling me old, and I wasn't even 50. I was like in my 40s. And she was telling me I was old and just ridiculing me, putting me down. Oh my gosh, where other people started getting involved. And then the whatever those people are, the security people of the bar came and grabbed us all, start moving everybody out, because when the other girls, because it was like these 2 groups of girls, we were the group of nurses, and this other group of, I don't know, bar girls, I don't know what the fuck they were, but the one was really, going off on me, you're too old to be out or whatever. And so when they're holding us, I'm being held by security and everybody's going out the door. And I said something to her because she kept telling me I was too old. And I said something about, well, you're too fat. Boom, right in the face. So, and that was my worst black eye. Oh my gosh. And I was in nursing school. So I had to go, and they all thought I was being beaten by my husband. But my eye was closed shut. It was such a hard punch. And this whole thing became like, oh my gosh, my whole face turned purple and yellow as it healed. But there was so much blood in my eye. It was like sticking out so far. It was giant. This thing, this part of my eye was like sticking out like, oh, it was huge and purple. My eye was sealed shut for days. I remember when the swelling started going down enough, then my eye started popping open. I had this one little tiny creepy eye popping out of this creepy bruised face. And I had to go, you can't miss nursing school. Just like I'm not going to miss my 18th birthday, a black eye, whatever. Yeah, I had to go into hospitals and, go out in a professional world with this giant black eye. And then plus, it was like, it was a barroom brawl. Well, I just got punched, but I mean, there was other people brawling. And that, probably that's what those girls do all the time. And the police wouldn't even do anything. They wouldn't even charge with assault. Then they're telling me, because the bar people let her run because she's a regular, because she probably does this all the time. So they let her run, and then nobody would tell me who she was. They wouldn't tell the cops. I started trying to look it up. I mean, I became an investigator, trying to figure out who she was. And then at some point, it's just like, oh my gosh, this is pointless. Just learn from the mistake. Don't, if there's a drunk girl calling you names, don't call them back. Just let it go. Let it go. It's not worth it. But anyways, I feel like that I feel excited about for people to be ready to redefine themselves and not keep themselves so structured in this world of control and tyranny. So, anyways, that's probably about enough. I think it seems like there was some other stuff I wanted to talk about. I might be back. It's still so early. Oh, there was something in a movie that was really. I was watching this movie last night. I almost came back on it and said something about it. Because it was like, oh my gosh, this is, there's just so much stuff when we go in, even watching movies or whatever, when you start looking at them differently, you start seeing new things, you know? And one thing is, this little thing, I believe that we need to not let age define us, but we need to define what that age is. And it's the same thing as moving into this new age. It's all about everything is showing itself. It's all about, redefining age, because they've kept us in this thing so long where they were killing us. If you're not at your prime, they don't want you here living your life and having a good time, and the government won't go pay you just because you worked your whole life. Shut up. Yeah, just go to the nursing home and die, please. That's the world we've lived in. Grandma's a little bit of a problem now. Let's just put her away. So, anyways, it's redesigning everything for life, and I'm excited for it. So, have a great day, and I will talk to you later. Bye.